to Comics News Today. And we got some interesting topics to talk with you today. And of course, I'm joined by Booster and Denali, and I think we'll have DeWolf in here soon. So, how you guys doing today?
I'm
Doing
just doing
awesome.
lovely. He's doing awesome. I'm doing lovely. Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. Well, that's what I want to hear. How about you, Denali? You doing awesome as well? Because, Mr.
Yeah,
Awesome. All right.
definitely.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to get right into the news here in a moment. We just want to go ahead and do our normal spiel of things we have going on. So please keep in mind that we want you guys to go down and hit that like button and subscribe, please, to help us out. But really, the thing that helps us the most is going and hitting that share button, which I'm going to do myself right now. And that lets everyone know what we're doing and gets everybody in here. Well, we're going to get right into the news here in a moment. Out with that. But whilst I go ahead and hit my share button and do that kind of stuff, I see DeWolf coming in here. Hey, DeWolf, how you doing today, man?
Hey, a little technical issue, but I made it.
Yeah, you did, and you sound like Mr. Robot, which is cool. I like robots.
See, technical issues are still there. Internet's slow or something.
Yeah, well, it happens. You got to make sure you shut down things here or there sometimes, or it could just be the internet in your area. All right, well, I got that shared out. You guys go ahead and do the same. But so we're going to get right into the news today, and I think the one we have here to start out with is kind of interesting. And we were talking about this behind the scenes, and I want to get everyone's opinion here. Sweet Christmas! Netflix and Marvel just canceled Luke Cage 2, which is in response to Iron Fist being canceled. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually having no problem with Iron Fist being canceled at all. What about you guys?
I'm gonna shed a few crocodile tears for the cancellation for both Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Rippin' spaghetti, never forget it.
Okay.
I watched the first season of all the other shows that weren't Daredevil, and I was like, yeah, it's alright. And the season 2 for all those shows just kind of came and left. I didn't care. I was like, wake me up when there's more Daredevil, lads.
Absolutely
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And Chester, you may want to check your volume a little bit low, but my
Hello? Okay.
yeah,
Turn it up.
but for my point is I enjoyed season 1 of Luke Cage. I liked the first half of it with Cottonmouth
Oh,
and
was
that story
amazing.
dynamic.
Yeah.
But after
Oh,
they
yes.
kill, but
Great
after they kill Cottonmouth and they had Luke Cage's brother shoehorned in there for the second half of the season, it was like that could have been just a good storyline for the second season. Why couldn't you just let Cottonmouth be just the first season's villain kind of deal?
I'm not gonna lie, man. Cottonmouth had like this smile and this laugh that made me like, whew, Lord,
Yeah.
have mercy.
Yeah.
It had its
Absolutely.
sweet Christmas in
Yeah.
there. But yeah, no, man, they made a huge mistake. They should have never killed off Cottonmouth. That dude was amazing. One of the best villains Marvel's ever put on the screen. Wow, what a screw up. Now I'm assuming you guys can hear me better now. I've got my volume up, so you let me know. But I mean, DeWolf,
You
what
sound
do you
lovely,
think about it?
Chester.
Huh?
I said you sound absolutely lovely now,
Oh,
Chester.
thank you very much, Booster.
Yeah.
And
I actually thought that the Luke Cage, the first one, was good all the way through. But what to expect as far as where they were going to go with all these villains and stuff, possibilities, and especially after watching Daredevil and Jessica Jones, there was so much that round up as far as putting it into the real world. I thought that they were, doing kind of a good job there, and then they went into Harlem, and Harlem was a cool place to be. The issues there, the second season really, it started getting more convoluted. The concept of, do I want to be a hero? Am I going to be a hero? Everyone else wants me to be. It coincided right along with Iron Fist. he's going to be a hero. No, he's not going to be a hero. And how do I make myself a hero? And Daredevil was going to be a hero. And that theme, as it keeps going amongst the Netflix series, you know, and then by the time Luke Cage 2 ends, now he's actually closer to being not a hero. And it's kind of sad they would cancel it, you know?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Booster.
It's spoilers.
Well,
Spoilers.
yeah. Spoiler for season 2 if you haven't watched it. He becomes the mafia boss of Harlem.
Oh,
Wow.
At the end of
God.
season
for
2.
the show I wasn't going to bother watching.
Oh my. I'm assuming
So,
you guys can hear me better now, but
No, you're still low, Chester. They're saying that on chat.
yeah, but I just did some things to try to fix it. But yeah,
Okay.
no, I don't like where they went with Luke Cage. They made mistakes. But honestly, the whole Netflix Marvel stuff, the only thing that was really really good was Daredevil. I mean, to be honest with you, and David Tennant as the Purple Man in the first season, Jessica Jones was pretty impressive. Although she was lame and uninteresting, completely uninteresting. That's just my
She was
opinion.
unsympathetic. There
Yeah.
was like, you just wanted to like hit her or something. It's like snap out of it or something. That's how.
Well, that's the thing. She did need to
Yeah.
snap out of it because she was broken so much because of how
Yeah.
he mistreated her mentally. So I could see why they did that the way they did. You know?
I'd be a bit of a grump if I was treated that way by a Purple Man.
Yeah.
Second season of Jessica Jones, though, the whole thing with her mom and stuff, it drug on. Luke Cage, he ends up where he's at. I kind of would like to know, where he's going after this because he needs some redeeming qualities. And then, of course, Iron Fist.
Ugh.
As much as it drug on, at the end of Iron Fist season 2, it actually got kind of interesting. I didn't like where they were going as far as trading off the fist, and I thought that was silly. And then right there at the end, right before the credit rolls, I went, "Oh no, this is dumb." So
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't finish Iron Fist 1.
Yeah.
It was so lame.
Guys,
And-
did you not get the memorandum I put out the other day? I mean, I sent it to everyone. I mean, you must have read it. I mean, there's a rule here: no Iron Fist talk on this show because it was abhorrent and horrible and it's insulting. Okay.
Oh,
Just read
shoot.
the memorandums.
I
read the
didn't get
No,
that. I'll remember from now on.
I have to talk about Iron Fist because I love that. I actually have the collection of Iron Fist.
Oh, so do I. That's why it makes me so mad how horrible it was, man.
I was furious.
Yeah.
I was like, he got drugged. He doesn't fight. It was like, oh.
and I almost got excited when Iron Fist shows up in the second season of Luke Cage, and he acted cool. Iron Fist, he actually acted like an interesting character in those few minutes he was there, and I thought, hey, that means Iron Fist 2 is going to be like this, and then it wasn't. And and on top of that, they lost the whole meditation and the chi and everything that made him Iron Fist, and it was it's very lackluster. And so maybe this just means since they canceled both of these, we're going to see them in actual Heroes for Hire.
Yep. That's what I've been speculating. That's what my tinfoil hat has been calling.
Let your tinfoil hat go. And ERT says he thought that Iron Fist was actually improving, but Doom is just sleeping already. Thanks, Doom. Thanks for the support, man. Go ahead, give us your tinfoil hat, man.
Well, my tinfoil hat says that they're going to take away both these shows and, make a big public fuss about it. So people on the Twitter go, they took away the Person of Color show. How very dare they? So they can then announce Heroes for Hire and say, you're welcome. Look at us take this away from you and give it back to you because we're so benevolent.
Yeah, but what was the other theory you guys are talking about? I thought that was more interesting.
Under the Disney logo, you'll have Heroes for Hire under Disney streaming versus Netflix.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it quietly cancel Jessica Jones, and then but I'm pretty sure Netflix are not going to cancel Daredevil just because it's best show by far. They'll hold on to that, but they'll probably cancel Punisher, and whatever other things that
Punisher
they were going to do?
disappointed me so much.
No, I think you're wrong there. I think Daredevil 3 was already in production, and so they released it. They will not start on another Daredevil, and it'll go away, and anything not in production won't be made, and then it's going to become Disney streaming.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. And James says, not from this show, ding dong. It's from the Marvel shows. Well, thanks, Doom. Now I'm a ding dong. Just insult me all day long, man.
You can't win with this
sensitive.
guy.
Man, I haven't heard Ding Dong since the 90s.
Yeah.
Better than a Twinkie.
Oh goodness! All right, guys, we could certainly go on and just reminisce about the Netflix, and of
Yeah.
course, we don't want to even start talking about Daredevil because we'll be here all day, as that is great.
Yeah.
Let's
True.
go on to our next little bit of news, oh look, it's our favorite friend. It's Chuck Wendig. Aren't you guys
Hello,
happy?
Chuck Wendig.
Hi, Chuck.
I'm happy to see his bloody face. I almost swore.
Whoa, okay, don't do that.
I just-
Yeah, well, if we take a look here, we can see very clearly that Star Wars writer Chuck Wendig's Twitter appears to have been targeted by bots. And boy, they got serious on this one too, guys. As you come down here, we get into this article, you're going to see that there was an actual university professor. Oh, I'm sorry. Her name is Bethany Ladna, and she's an associate professor of political science. Political science. That's a real thing. At the University of
Mhm.
Rochester. She's an associate. How come they always get associates? Why don't we ever hear from the professors? It always seemed to notice this from the progressive sides. They always get these quotes from associate professors or assistant professors. It's never actually the professor. But hey, she has some incredible data here, guys. And she's saying that actually bots went up incredibly on the 2 points when Ethan Van Sciver mentioned Chuck Wendig's horrible comments, and then when he said he got fired. And they're saying it's Russian bots, of course, are attacking him.
That is hilarious.
It is hilarious. And you know what? There's another reason that could be going on. Because the simple fact is, when you're on Twitter or Facebook or any of those kind of things, there are tons of bots all the time trying to sell you stuff. Always selling me stuff. Always trying to sell me. And it's usually stuff I'm not interested in. I actually used to click on them and get rid of them, but I don't bother anymore because it's tiring. So yeah, if comments are increasing overall, well then that means that the bots are responding to the comments trying to sell them stuff are increasing overall as well. Oh, correlation. And I'm not even an associate professor of political science at the University of Rochester. Wow. And
You're
I
a
took-
savant.
I am a savant. Maybe I'm autistic, and I have that that savant autism going on. But I mean, come on, this is so stupid. Everything has to be Russian bots. I mean, my mini rant is done, but you guys go ahead and throw your information into it. But they're so silly. They do this all the time, man. Of course, bot things have gone up because they're called ad bots. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Roger, Roger.
Roger.
Well, see, and Denali hit it on the head there. The fact that the Star Wars writer appears to, et cetera, this whole article is, you can tell that it's not well written, that it's completely a farce by the fact that it doesn't say targeted by droids.
Exactly.
That's
Bots.
all I have.
Yeah. But,
I
yeah,
think it's
Order.
a strange case of
Execute
denial.
Order 65. Trebuchet Chuck Wendig's.
I think it's seriously denial. You know, they just cannot fathom that people would have a negative opinion on anything they do Star Wars related, whether it's a negative opinion on Hillary Clinton, Last Jedi, or Chuck Wendig's writing. It's like these can't be actual humans with actual negative emotions towards what we're doing. We're brilliant. Everything we do is absolutely bloody sublime. It must be those pesky Russian bots trying to tear down democracy itself.
You want to talk about the tinfoil hat? Really, they have some wild theories, and you just got to face the fact that we have a whole bunch of people out here and a whole bunch of people like this. They don't like that. They have their own opinions. Get over it.
I think they really are in their little echo chambers where they're telling each other that their work is brilliant. You know, I think Chuck Wendig surrounds himself with sycophants and fans and employees and editors that can't stand up to him and tell him that his ideas are terrible.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you're coddled too much. You just become this absolute brat that cannot accept reality. And the reality is people don't like you. Your work is terrible. You need to improve. Your behavior is terrible. And you need to step the hell down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Worse yet, those people around him actually think he's doing a good job.
And I can illustrate that because for anybody heard about the game Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Ubisoft?
Of
Have you
course.
played those games? Well, and if you're in the Assassin's Creed community, you probably know about a YouTuber named Loomer who does really awesome interviews with behind the scenes and does a lot of in-depth analysis about the lore and stuff.
Sure.
And he tweeted out to one of the writers saying, "Hey, you broke doing a critical analysis of it." And what does she do? She blocks him, even though it was a valid criticism based on the established lore that was done years ago that they have broken out for Assassin's Creed Odyssey game, and what they've been doing slowly throughout the progressing games. And when we, as longtime fans, start railing out and pointing out those valid criticism, they've been tuning us out. So the fact that Booster been saying that they are surrounded in those bubbles where they're cuddled and everything, it's apparent. And at any point of valid criticism, they automatically just block you, and that's a shame.
Yeah, but all the reviews coming out for the new Odyssey is it's beautiful and it's boring. It's just there's no connection to the story, and it's just you just grind, 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 grind. There's a lot of complaints on it. You can watch any review; they all say the same thing, whether they liked it or didn't like it. It's all sitting around 5, 6 in reviews. It's just not a good game in general, which is a whole nother problem because they're going to blame us for it, I'm sure. But yes, James, maybe I should do a show called Chester's Bias and talk about the idiot things that are going on in the world and how I'm biased against them. That would be a great idea.
That should be the channel's name. We should have called that one the Chester Bias Show.
Chester is biased, yeah. I think
Yeah.
so.
Common sense.
Dang you to Pope Fire.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's funny. It's funny where it's all coming from too. Now let's go to this one. I don't know how interesting it is, but it's got pretty pictures. Denali?
Yeah, it's pretty pictures. Well, people who are Batman fans, long-term Batman fans throughout, had a female Robin called Stephanie Brown. And in her run, she gets killed. And then they make a story that, the doctor, who's a friend of Batman, allows her to die to teach Batman a lesson. That he shouldn't bring young children, into crime fighting. And then they reverse it and say, "Oh, by the way, she was dying anyways, so that's why I let her die." And they reverse that again. So it's a plot twist.
Sounds like a Make-A-Wish kind of thing going on here.
So they can't follow up or follow through why they killed her. And basically the Black Mask kills her. And they could have just left it like that, she got in the crossfire and she died. Then they put it that this doctor that knows Batman, Leslie Thompson, let her die to teach Batman a lesson. And now they changed it. Oh, but she was dying anyway, so it's okay.
Okay,
No, it's not okay.
I don't care at all about it. Not even a little. What I do have a question about is exactly what is going on with this art on this cover. That is wonky. That is wonky. Look at that.
Wonky.
Very wonky. That's the word of the day, wonky. I mean, come on, look at the way she's got her hips kicked out. Are you that desperate to try to get a butt shot in? I mean, come on, guys. What is that?
But they're
am
not.
I wrong? Am my eyes gone cross on me or something, or does that just look horrible?
Yeah, it's horrible. The perspective is wrong. Look how, if you go right there, be right there in her chest, you can see how he's struggling. Like, it looks terrible right there.
Drawn and quartered should redo the whole scene.
Yeah, they should. That would be funny. Actually,
that should be the thing.
That's a good idea. Yeah, but I mean, this is a Batman cover. This is a Batman cover, and that is wonky. But I mean, I get your point, Denali. It's
no, if you say wonky too many times, it's gonna feel like it's not a real word.
Okay, fine. That's coming from a New Zealander who doesn't even know how to speak English. I mean, really.
My English is fantastic. I'll have you know.
English.
Oh,
But
goodness.
here's the thing that is a common trope is it okay for a character to let another character die? And it's kind of goes to the vein like Iceman. Was it okay for Jean Grey to mind rape Iceman into being gay?
Poor Bobby.
Bobby, yeah. And what if it was another character? What if it was a gay character and they had Jean Grey mind rape that gay character to be a straight character? You think people would be saying something about that?
Of course they would, and it's just a typical double standard, you know. But
Mhm.
they've actually ruined Jean Grey. They have no clue who she is or what she represents. It's just something weird, twisted, evil new thing they put in. So you know.
Yeah, so I bring that up for the double standards that we're doing over here.
Mhm.
You know, they do these storylines, they don't really think through what the implications are. And when they try to fix it, they even make it worse.
Yeah, they ought to allow characters to actually die, tying it into this, actually die, actually get old, actually age. You know, like the new Dazzler that the Little Dazzler reviewed for us on one show.
Right.
It had Piotr, it had Colossus on it, and he was a young man, a really young man. And I thought, well, I've seen him bigger and older looking before, even. And they're kind of they're even de-aging characters to try to make them fit into the current, I don't know, millennial concept of what they want people to look like. I would prefer them get older, change a little bit with time, you know, act the way the characters should act, and if they're going to die off, die off.
Yeah. I do think she's cute though. I like the look of the character. The design's cool.
Well, we can all have an opinion.
We can. Now that one cover looked horrible, but I overall like the look of the character. What do you think, Booster? Is this a cute character? Is this one worth keeping?
I think she's adorable. I want to pinch her cheeks.
Oh. Okay.
Her face cheeks.
Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Sure, Booster. I believe you.
Cute little Robin.
It's cute, Rabbit. All right. Next, since we're talking about girls, let's continue talking about not girls, although the picture seems to be only about girls. It says Disney got a Kylo Ren
These
joke
are
changed in
women,
Ralph Break.
Esther.
What did you say?
These are women.
No, they're princesses, so they're actually girls. But you know,
How dare you?
it's okay. We will have a private English lesson later, Booster. I'll help you out, man. It'll be all right. I'm a professional, you know. But Disney got a Kylo Ren joke changed, and Ralph breaks the internet. Which I don't. My family liked the first Wreck-It Ralph actually. But you know what this comes down to is they had a joke in here where they probably had a slumped over, you know, Kylo Ren in some scene, and he was acting like a whiny, spoiled little brat, and as a joke, it's funny. Get it? I get it, right? But then
It
Disney
is.
said, "This is our villain, and we would appreciate it if you would please not have our villain look like a whiny little brat, please." And they said, "Okay, Big Brother Disney, we'll stop right now. We won't do it." And that's the whole article. Owadi.
That definitely reminds me of the situation they had with Deadpool too, because there was a joke removed about Disney buying Fox that was removed. So Disney seems to be a little bit sensitive.
A little, yeah.
Yeah.
But what we learned
And
from Deadpool is that when you make fun of yourself, we also learned this from Ethan Van Sciver. When you make fun of yourself, people actually enjoy that, and it helps them connect to you and like you.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, it's
And too late, Lucasfilm. You already made your joke about your ultimate villain being a whiny brat.
well,
I
he's a
hate
whiny brat.
him.
I thought that was the point. He's a whiny,
Yeah.
a little whiny brat. He's nothing like his, his grandfather, et cetera, et
And,
cetera.
and he's not a joke.
Well,
It's not a joke. It's just selling the truth.
well, yeah. But that's what J.J. Abrams was laying out, and then of course we had what is it that Ethan likes to call Ryan Johnson? What is that?
Roundhead.
Oh, Roundhead. That's
Round.
right. Roundhead Ryan Johnson came in and decided, I don't like J.J. Abrams. I'm going to destroy everything he did because I'm a spiteful little
This is my
boy.
vision. I'm going to deconstruct Star Wars in my own vision.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make Kylo Ren swole for no reason.
Because I mean, the first one, Force Awakens, it wasn't great, but it was all right. I mean, you could watch it if you just as a popcorn film anyway. If they had just followed along the line of what JJ had set up, it probably would have been okay. I mean, it's not like the original, but it would have been fine. But it's this guy come in and he has this idea that he's going to do his thing, and he literally said he feels like he'd failed unless half the audience hated what he was doing. That's his thinking. That's what's going on in his brain. And here's a hint, Hollywood: don't hire people who think that way. That's insanity. You guys want to make money, right?
That's usually the case as an industry. But like I usually joke on Fanspeak, which I put before, Picard, on my mark, engage, facepalm, engage.
Now that joke actually would be funny. You got to work on the timing though. But that would be a funny
Yeah.
joke. I think you just got to
Yeah.
practice it. You got to do like Booster.
Yes.
Yeah. Because Booster, he spends hours and hours working on
Timing.
his one-liners.
It just no. Booster's just a natural. He has the talent.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, there's not much here of a story. This is just a little quick one, but it's just funny. Disney they really want to micromanage everything, and what this little article does is it just adds to the pile of how Disney thinks and how they act. They always got to micromanage everything, and that's kind of the problem, isn't it? All right, now this one right here, Booster, go for it, man.
Oh boy, I really hope he's successful in doing this. Is all I can say about that. Like, Old Boy is one of my favorite films ever made. I think it's incredible, and that is definitely one of the movies you should be looking at to try and replicate. That's for sure.
Yeah, no,
But-
that's true.
There are definitely a lot of things to try and replicate. For example, when they try to make an American version of this film, right? A few years ago, they got Josh Brolin. Perfect choice for the character. Absolutely perfect. But they clearly did not get what made that film special, whether it was just simple things like cinematography, shots, what have you, just subtle acting. And there were just some things about it that just did not translate into the American film, and also clearly topics that made them a little peckish. But I'm not sure what would make a Deathstroke movie quite like an Old Boy movie. Hopefully, it's the fight cinematography. If they get the fight scenes like the hallway scene in Old Boy, like they've been doing with the hallway scenes in Daredevil,
Yeah.
they can get those fight scenes right. It can be a real great film.
No, it could be, and I liked the idea when I saw it. I was like, Now, DeWolf, man, there's two points in this headline here. You have one, a Deathstroke movie, and two, Old Boy. What do you think about it, man? I mean, those are two separate questions and two separate points, but what do you think, man?
It is, and I'm gonna throw you for a loop. I don't normally come at these things, like normal. I think that here you've got something actually akin to Guardians of the Galaxy, where people said, "Who? What?" That this just isn't anything that has hit the mainstream. Both of these ideas are not in people's brains. They don't know who they are. Maybe they know a little bit more of Deathstroke a little bit. Oh yeah, I remember that a little bit here or there when I was a kid or something. But it's nowhere near, I think, as big as anything else that's been coming out. I would really throw this into the mix of concepts of this is what Guardians of the Galaxy was like. They're going to try to have to market this well, put it out there, and it's just going to have to sort of hit the screen and make people go wow. And in that regard, they at least have almost a clean slate because people won't be attributing what they think it should be first. So it has some chance of good success.
Yeah, but what do you think about it in general, though? I mean, because Deadpool is a straight up ripoff of Deathstroke, but yet Deadpool has become far more popular in the culture, far more well known. Of course, they made him funny and jokey, whereas Deathstroke is
They
none of those
definitely
things.
changed his character
Yeah,
along
they
the
most
yes,
certainly
but
did.
at first he was just Deathstroke.
Exactly. So, do you think Deathstroke has a is you think there's going to be some fan blowback on that? I don't mean us, because we know Deathstroke and we appreciate him for what he is. But I'm talking about the general movie viewing audience. You think they're going to be like, this is just some weird Deadpool. What do you think about that?
Right. They'll
Mm.
be just like you said. It said except the reverse. Instead of Deadpool was Deathstroke with some changes in comedy and things thrown in there.
Mm.
You're gonna have people saying, "Oh, Deathstroke is just Deadpool."
Yeah, no, exactly.
It will have that type of reaction as well, which throws back to
Well,
my original concept of this being, a Guardians of the Galaxy thing. And maybe you're right. Maybe that actually hurts it because of how successful Deadpool is. It's really up in the air. This whole idea of making this movie, it has abilities to go either way.
You got any opinion on that, Denali, man? Or you want to move on?
no, I do have a couple opinions. Well, the first one is people are actually aware of Deathstroke because a generation did watch Teen Titans, the cartoon, and they had
That's true.
Deathstroke there.
That's true.
And they also had CW, which is really popular with today's teen, with the Green Arrow, which he was a second
Played by Kiwi, by the way. I'd like
Yes.
to point that out. Marty
Yes,
Bennett, awesome guy.
Matabu,
Good fella.
and he was also in Spartacus. And
Does
he
like
played an
pie?
awesome.
I bet he loves a good mince and cheese pie. I bet you.
I bet he does too.
And so they do have an awareness for the current generation that's watching. And one of the best seasons was actually with Deathstroke, because he was for the first two season, first in the flashback, and then as the main villain for season 2. So it's actually, so there is an awareness of Deathstroke coming in. But my concern is, because you were talking about it could just be another Guardian of the Galaxy where it blows up. The track record for the director, which is Gareth Evans, who directed Godzilla, the remake of, I think, 2014 or whatever, and Star Wars Rogue One, doesn't have a good track record. He makes a passable movie, but nothing that's rememberable, nothing that grabs you hold and say this is something that you really want to watch. He actually got fired from Rogue One and they got Tony Gilroy to reshoot the movie under reshoots and put it out. So it's really a Tony Gilroy movie instead of a Gareth Edward movie.
Yeah,
so
sure.
that's my only concern.
Oh, there's always concern. It's this constant concern. Anytime that Warner Brothers touches something these days, there's concern. It's kind of goes with the name now. But I like the idea of Deathstroke, old boy. It actually could work really well for that character, I think.
Yeah, and that's more of the manga line, right?
What do you mean? You're talking about just old boy in general? Boy. Yeah, but they're not referencing the manga, man. They're referencing the Korean movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, okay. All right. Well, sure. So, but is that? No. I stand by my original thought. Never mind.
Yeah. It is interesting though. When I first saw it, just like a booster, I was like, all right. Well, let's see what else we got for you guys today. Now, this one I thought was really interesting. Booster man, have you checked this article out yet?
I've had we skim through it. I am wondering what they're trying to go with this. I don't know if they're trying to make fun of us in general, or if they're trying to be, oh my god, so random.
Yeah, they like that, don't they? Yeah. Now, this is 2 meta looks at comics from Marvel and DC this week. Meta. And of course, this is coming from the Bleeding Cool. So as you guys know, they are biased in an extreme way. But that's all right. We got to get our news from everywhere. Basically what is going on is this talking about a Ghost Rider being done from Sebastian Greiner and Casper Weingard. it's kind of referencing. I don't know if you guys remember. I remember, but Kiss supposedly actually took their blood and put it into the inkwells for the printing of a Kiss comic that came out. I think from Marvel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I remember that, and I don't know if they actually ever did that, but that was, typical thing for Kiss to do back in the days. I mean, the Kiss was really a big theatric band, Um, I don't know what the modern people think on, or the young people think on Kiss is, but Kiss was like a big theater band, and they were lots of fun. But they did something like that, and they also had Stan Lee doing something similar to that for some stamp of some kind. But here we have our great leader, the most amazing leader ever. What's his name again?
I believe it was male nipples
Male nipples. Yes.
because he's as useless as male nipples.
Yes, he is. Because, Sana Amina obviously is the one in charge. But this is supposedly CB Sobalski. And he's talking to a Marvel super intern. And he's going to take care of these, pseudo Kiss heavy metal band. And he's going to take care of it because make the money rain. And I don't know. I think this was supposed to be funny. It's not funny, guys. Yeah, do better.
They go all the money, referencing a near decade-old meme.
Yeah, this is not funny. Once again, they don't do humor very well. And you should do, if you're gonna do humor, you should have someone that does well. But anyway, the general idea, I'm just gonna lay it out and let you guys just run with it. But the general idea of this one is, though this metal band, pseudo Kiss band, is us, and they've paid a lot of money to get their own comic made from Marvel, and they're getting a walkthrough of Marvel headquarters, the amazing Marvel headquarters, by the way, legendary. And of course, here, yeah, but here's, of course, is the big thing. They're sitting here joking that they're making fun of us because, oh, we don't like anything new, we don't like things that change, we don't like bright colors. So basically, these idiot heavy metal headbanger guys are representing us, the ones that are complaining about them not doing good stuff, and it's just a shot at us. They wasted ink, paper, and money in a comic book to take a shot directly at Comicsgate, or honestly anyone who dissents. That's exactly what this is.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for wasting your money.
That's
I'm
not brutal.
not buying it.
Not brutal at all.
But anyway,
Brutal.
go ahead, guys. Take a shot at it.
I can't say with absolute certainty that it's like it's a shot at anyone, or if they're just trying to be funny. Either way, it doesn't land. It's crap.
Yeah.
No, this is obviously a shot directly at us, man. It's most.
And was this all these burning colors? I like colors. I've been complaining about Zack Snyder's use of just grays in his movie, all of his bloody movies.
Yeah, that is true.
He's shooting a commercial, a 2-hour commercial. That's what I think. Yeah.
No opinions on this, DeWolf, man.
Are they making fun of the band? Are they?
Well, the band is representing us, meaning those of us who are dissenting to all the nonsense they're doing. Of course,
I see what you're saying.
We know that we have no trouble with diversity whatsoever. We're not complaining about that. We're complaining that the art has taken a dive. Although, to be fair, when CB Sobalski's come back, it has improved to a point. All of that new Shuri comic was horribly written. I mean, there were literally shortened arms in that art in that. It just reminded me of Booster.
So
I should definitely say what we have a problem with is shoehorn diversity. That is a
yes, you're right.
Yeah. And there is a thing where Marvel comics in general have addressed current world politics and events, constantly, and I guess we are an event, and they're trying.
Comics have always been about politics.
Yeah. We like it. We like that in there. But when you start trying, and I really say trying, to do something like this, it comes off as shallow. A lot of the other times that they've done things, it's kind of off the cuff, more sly, and an Easter egg. and not just so blatant. And when you do that, when you're able to squeeze something in on the side, maybe have something in the background in the artwork or whatever, the people that know the situation, they understand and it gets to them. While everybody else is just like, hey, I'm buying the rest of this comic and I'm reading it and it's interesting. So here you've got something, if you're trying to do that, I think we addressed the whole Mojo issue, right? Last time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Once again, it's so blatant that it actually comes off as being a sad attempt. And that's where they need to just, drop it, put things in the background. That would be a lot more interesting.
Yeah, but I also
And it might
think
even
don't waste pages and ink on shooting, firing shots at people who have been complaining to you. Why are you wasting time and money on that? It's really silly, but and especially because that's not what we're complaining about at all. I mean, you're literally delusional if you think that's what we're complaining about. And of course, I think they know better. They're just trying to, lower anyone who disagrees needs to be beaten down, right? I mean, but I mean, that's what they're doing here. It's not hidden. It's not subtle. It's right in your face. We are idiot headbangers who hate anything that's new and diverse, and we're evil. And ooh, that's the whole point,
Those guys must make millions of dollars with their music, though.
They must, yeah, because they got their
If
own
they
Marvel
represent Comicsgate.
Yeah. So, Denali, you want to say anything before I move on to the second one, which is far worse?
No, let's move on.
All right. Now, this one is from Brian Bendis over at DC. And,
Oh, my favorite.
oh, goodness. And this one is bad. He's talking about
That
being,
Bendis?
no, it is bad because this is supposed to be him here represented as the kind of Punisher-like figure. And he's basically talking about violence against those who disagree. Straight up violence, right? And it's it's not good. And I thought we'd actually take a moment and read it so you guys can see very clearly, because this other one is cute and silly, but this one is not. Now you guys can see that very clearly. So let's see who wants to be Bendis, who wants to be the voice of Bendis.
That sounds like a setup.
I will do it.
Okay.
I will be the voice of Bendis.
Boys, okay, here we go. Booster's going to be Bendis, and let's have DeWolf be this poor victim, this poor us. He's representing us, by the way. Go ahead, guys.
I want so badly to throw this on my live feed. Our fans would shit. Oh, should I have? No.
Hey, you're reading this.
I
Go
was
for
supposed to read it.
Yeah.
We can throw it open to a Q&A. Any questions for Max Phil, the creator of what was it?
Wow, so much for professional effing courtesy. What is this? What are you doing? Seriously, you're effing Assad Sinis. What is this? I wasn't lying before. I am a big fan. Now, you can go all F yourselves.
What do you think is going on here?
Okay.
This
No. Seriously, they're serious, man. Go ahead.
Well, I just said to you that I was a big fan, and you didn't reciprocate on any level. That sucked. And that was bad writing. And not to answer a question with a question, but do you think what do you think's going on here?
Is this guy like supposed to be a Russian? Am I supposed to be like, I think you are an American spy?
I draw ninja comics.
You are both.
Oh, hey.
What was your objective in Istanbul?
To go to a effing comic book show and someone else says, "Oh, hey, you're still doing covers for Rogue Star reprints?"
Back.
Yeah.
Oh my God, F you.
What was your objective in Istanbul?
Dude, I haven't been punched since.
The bar in Chicago 4 years ago. I was there when the fan jumped you. It was funny.
Is he talking about the quartering?
He is.
Oh.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
You're not worried about ruining your drawing hand?
I've been doing this a long time. Little man.
I wear gloves if I'm gonna grill an ear of corn.
Okay.
I actually had to Google Istanbul, and that was in Turkey. So
Yeah, we know, dude. I love how you mispronounced it twice.
Istanbul.
It's Istanbul.
I like my Russian.
What
accent,
is
though.
what is going on
That's-
here?
Yeah, what is going on here? Now, I read that, and obviously they're mentioning the quartering, obviously, and they're
Mhm.
also mentioning how this person who has disagreed, and he's a fan, but I just didn't like this thing. I'm a fan, really, I'm a fan, but I didn't like this thing. Well, you must be punished. I mean, that's what this is. I mean,
Little
this
man,
is,
I will beat you for not like all work.
I mean,
What are
this
you
is-
doing to and Comicsgate? Boom, punch all Nazis. What are you doing in Comicsgate? Punch all Nazis.
They get one thing right. I got to give them this. All the way down to all the way down to the end, the guy getting punched is still making jokes and still making fun of him because he's not being effective.
Yes.
And that's what's
Yes.
happening with the quartering, Comicsgate, Ethan. Nothing they're doing is being effective. All their little Twitter punches, draw just some little smattering of blood, and then we're going right along. That heals up, and we're stronger than ever.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, the cojones on these guys to put something like that out and to be so blunt about it. I mean, that's not good, man. That is not good.
What
And we're
media hates its own fans more than comics?
yeah, but
Oh
also
man, what was this
mocking
printed?
him.
Was this printed?
I don't
What
think
was this printed in?
I don't think this was printed. I think it was supposed to be, but they moved him on to Superman something or another. But it's something that came out, and we got to keep in mind that as we're looking at this, where this is coming from, right? This is Bleeding Cool, guys. This is not someone who would put up information that would be balanced. The Bleeding Cool is never balanced. They're always on the side of punch Nazis. That's the Bleeding Cool. That's what they are. So they put this up, and they put it up because they think it's funny. They think, yeah, let's make a joke about Jeremy getting jumped and
Let's own them.
what? Go ahead, Booster.
They said, let's own them. We're going to own those
Yeah.
Russians and
That's
comic
what
skates
they're
and bots
doing
and
here.
what have you.
Yeah,
Mm.
and it's disgusting. I mean, it's funny, but it's also disgusting. It's just
But-
this is where we got, guys. This is where we gotten. They are actually spending money on ink and paper and printing to put out stuff to attack anyone who disagrees with them directly, and making fun of people who have been assaulted at conventions. Okay, so you're not going to encourage any more of that activity, are you? Oh no.
Well, either that or this is complete genius. We're missing the joke. We're too stupid.
Okay.
And if that's the case, then they can correct us in the comments section.
I'm sure CB and Brian Bendis are far too high IQ for us tiny wee men.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't
Yeah,
know better.
yeah,
We
yeah.
don't know better. We have no agency.
Just a comment though, your friendly neighborhood ninja over here, which I like that. That's a good name. Over here in the chat says, "Hey, I just want to say this is a good stream, guys. Very informative. I'm really enjoying this. Well, thank you.
Thank you, your friend Neighborhood Ninja. Your check, it will be in the mail shortly.
Shh, keep that on the side, man. But yeah, no, we're having fun too, man. Well, we got about
That's a good
12
bot.
minutes here in our hour. So maybe we should move on from this, and we'll go over here to this one here. And this one is kind of interesting. This isn't necessarily a good or bad or against or versus news. It's just interesting news. Denali, why don't you tell us a little bit about this one, man?
So, just to read the headlines from Bleeding Cool, Neil Adams, legendary artist, expresses concerns for rumor comics royalty changes. And the first thing that strikes me is like, yeah, I would think royalty changes would be coming because their sales are down and they can't afford to keep paying the royalties for, without making profit. It's the same thing that GM had when they were paying pensions for their automobile worker that retired. They had to cut them off to make the business still viable and still running.
Sure.
So the fact that there's rumors about that royalty change means that they're dropping hints that this might be upcoming.
Yeah, but
You
give
know.
give us more details about exactly what they're talking about, please.
So the rumors are that after 10 years, DC and I believe Marvel are going to change the royalties where you're getting, after 10 years, they're going to just stop royalty payments. The state or yourself, if you're still alive at that time, will no longer get any royalty after 10 years.
It's actually more specific than that. It's 10
Mhm.
years after your death. 10 years
Correct.
after your death. So that it is a kind of a long-term cut. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys? Is that fair? Is it unfair? I mean, I know Booster had an opinion on it.
Oh, damn, did I? Because I forgot.
Thing, but no, it's if your body of work, you made that and you're owed a royalty, and people are still making a profit off of that. It doesn't matter if you still hold the rights to those properties for those royalties, then you and your estate should continue to enjoy it. But like I was saying before, is if the business that's paying you the royalty is not making profits, there's no way they're going to continue to pay royalty because they don't have the money to do so without them going out of business. And the rumor basically is indicating that because we keep saying that the comics are going downhill, it's actually going to be a financial hit to all of those royalties. And it might be a way to try to stem the bleeding a bit from the creators end point. But a lot of creators, they do need those royalty checks because, as you heard some of our creators from our side, they don't make a lot of money. The bigger ones that goes into the movies and stuff, they get a royalty check, bam, they're good. But for the smaller guys, a royalty check could be a difference between them losing their house on the mortgage or something.
Hey, ask Jim Starlin how he felt about his royalty check on Thanos.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I get it. You might want to give a little more detail on that, though, Booster.
As in, he got a big fat check saying $0.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think this doesn't affect us and the general readership and all that, except what it does do, it does put in the back of the mind of the creators what they're going to do when they have such maybe a great creation that's possible. And so, what is going on, Chester?
Yes.
So,
what's the background?
Well, what's going on with them as they're coming up with creations? Because, for instance, what about little cyber tadpole, right? That can possibly be getting a royalty check even years later down the road from a possible upcoming Cyberfrog franchise. If I know that I can take an entity and I think this entity can make it and become awesome, then what I'm going to do is go ahead and leave the industry and go into a thing like Indiegogo and go independent.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you guys didn't appreciate my crumpling money sound in the background. I was trying to add mood sounds, man. I was trying to help.
This isn't a
it sounded like kind of like eating chips.
It sounds like you're eating chips or something in the background, potato chips.
It's actually a donut, but I'm not gonna tell anybody.
Yeah, so what they're going to do is go ahead and just start leaving more, because if they got a great character, they're going to take it with them.
Yeah, that kind of brings up to what Mike Miller had said the other day, right? Because Mike joined us on a Bugbear's Basement where we were talking about cartoons and stuff, but actually got into talking about why we're not seeing new stuff. Why are we not seeing new characters? And his insight I thought was pretty cool. He said it's because of the greed. No one wants to give up their own characters. They all hope that they can spin off and do their own private thing and keep it and make all the money off of it, which is probably a lot of truth to it. But this kind of thinking by DC, and I'm sure Marvel will follow suit. This is going to just add on to that, right? I mean, this is aside from the point, but it's just going to add to it. Yeah.
it'll continue the stagnation of characters in comic books.
Absolutely. So this is just becoming more incentives for creators not to give out their best stories and everything.
Yeah, we've heard those rumors that working at Marvel and DC is not a good place to work, not a good environment. So this just is another one of those things. And I tell you what, you want a good business, get good workers, get people that want to work there. They've got good morale, and they're not just running around with a socialist scowl on their face trying to pump something out, because that's what you want to do. Bring in people, give them their props. If you've got a great creator, man, give them some money, give them some space to work, and you will see some great stuff coming out of a company.
Yeah, no, it's true, and
Well,
of course, it's interesting when you bring up the socialistic aspect, because progressives are socialists, and they don't care anything about money, and which for me, this is nothing new. Artists have kind of always been that way. It's kind of artists tend to be more right-brained, right? But we've always been a balance with the owners, the suits, as it were, the editors, even to a point, that they're much more the conservative, capitalistic thinking. Hey, we got to make money. So those two things used to work pretty well together, right? You have the creative types,
Well,
and
yeah,
then,
lefties are more creative, and right wingers run things better. Yeah,
exactly. But these days, so many things, we've lost that balance, and I think that's something that's going on here, and that's certainly hurting Marvel in particular, because we didn't get to it today, but we were talking about earlier the the Comic-Con's numbers and the way they came out, and one of the things I noticed was DC is kicking Marvel's butt hard. I mean, real hard.
oh yeah. And just to answer Sierra Whiskey's comment about a #1 issue that would be good to read, I did go to my local comic book store and I did pick up Justice League Dark, which deals with the magical aspects of DC Universe. And it has Wonder Woman, it has Swamp Thing, Man Bat, Zatanna, off the top of my head. And it was a really gripping story for the first issue. So, if you want to start with that, you guys are more welcome to check it out. It's actually gripping. I actually read about 3 or 4 first issue comic books, and by far the Justice League Dark one actually gripped me enough to say, to look into the second issue right away, where the other ones were, they got me interested, but not interested where I got excited to find out what the next issue holds out.
Oh, that's cool. And like you had mentioned before, Tonelli, maybe
Mhm.
one of the things you could do to help out your local comic book store is going back and doing the back issues. I don't know if you just said that or someone said it in the chat, but that was a very good point. And I have a suggestion for you. Go to your local comic book store, dig through those old long boxes that they got sitting up there, and find Suicide Squad #1 through 10, particularly 10 if you can, because coming up this Tuesday on Bugbear's Basement at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to be covering Suicide Squad in general, but specifically, we're going to be reading through and talking about issue number 10. So if you want to get a #1 issue, go check out Suicide Squad at your comic store. I'm sure you can find some. As simply as a segue, guys, because we're coming up here to the end of the show. We have about a minute left. Want to thank you guys all for joining us. This was a lot of fun. We were able to cover some interesting news and have a few laughs at some things that aren't necessarily very funny. But you guys have anything you want to say before we close shop today?
Yeah, like always, you are the master of your reality. You control, what you want your reality to be. So always make it a good one.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Nice. Check out Indicron and notice that RT Bear is on his last 2 days.
That's right. Yeah,
With Black and
Indicron,
White.
a sponsor of Fanspeak and the Fandom Zones. Very thank
But I
you
think
very much.
Chester may have convinced them to go into in demand.
I think we did. Yeah, I think we did. And he should. He should. That would be the smart
Absolutely.
move. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Please remember we have all those links down below. Go join the FanSpeak Facebook group. Get involved. We have the art contest, which is ending on the 30th, but we're going to have it on the 31st, and that's for a full page ad for FanSpeak logo and a mascot in an alternate comic, which is very cool. So don't dawdle. Go over there and get your art in, man. Let's see what you got. And of course, just all the other links we have for supporting us and helping us out and being part of what we're doing. And we're going to end up today. I actually have a new outro. So it's a very only like a 5-second thing, but I'm going to go ahead and end the show with that, and then we'll end stream. So that all of us in here don't say anything.
So before you do that,
Uh-huh.
don't forget, Tuesday we're going to do the giveaway that we weren't able to get to on our last show because of time. So do join us. We'll do that top of the hour before we get into the review.
Yeah.
Also check out the last comic book artist, Mitch Breitweiser channel for his last stream, Streaming with Boomers, where Art talks about his time with Marvel and other things. So it's actually a good stream for you guys to listen and kind of have an eye opening about what the industry is like.
All right. Very cool indeed. Mitch Breitweiser and RT Bear together. Boomer City. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll check you out tomorrow. And here's the outro. So tell us what you think.